right? And I think removing Sliggy is actually huge in terms of potentially the overall impact. And considering what we've seen, you know, last split from Liquid, and then again in Iceland, I mean, glimmers of hope, I think is the best way to sell it, but
sure,
it's a concern for me for sure, because I think his value has been massive. I mean, Liquid have been happy to really try and mix things up, you know, mess with the meta a little bit, to varying levels of success. It worries me now. Again, we don't know who's going to fill those shoes, but an even bigger change.
Hard shoes to fill.
And an even bigger change for me would be Scream moving across the IGL, which almost seems.
I would hate that.
Yeah, insane.
I'm going to be honest. I would hate that. Because the thing is that I like Scream to just be, you know, allowed to be impactful, allowed to kind of play the role that he wants to, but not have to, you know, micromanage an entire, you know, team. However, in this regard, we do need to check on the round that's coming, and we can discuss the bigger picture for both sides as this game goes forward, because it is a talking point, and there's plenty to be said. But with the post plant now beginning, Jamppi on the flank, and Big caught in the middle of it all. Twisten needs to be a little cautious here.
Big reveal there, actually.
Yeah, huge. Nyampi's flank then comes in good for them, and then you can see the diffusers coming in, and it gets denied. Liquid, perfectly fine on the pistol here, very clean on the cleanup. Who'd have thought it? But yeah, Liquid looking undo this entire Liquid roster. I think being a Liquid fan, if you've watched, you know, their recent news, you know, be about Jamppi potentially looking to dip away, the Sliggy changes. There's a lot up in the air. It feels like there's a lot of issues that could present, but I don't think we'll see them being a problem in this game. And it's no disrespect to Big, but I just don't know where they're at yet. Again, just coming into this tier of competition. This is gonna be a very, very tough game. I mean, so again, we'll see how they potentially fare, right?
That's also something that's got a bit. Okay, Lucker.
Shot and a half. Let's go.
Jamppi getting punished for that one. I'll come back to that previous thought shortly, but weapon retrieved. Again, sound cue given away. And Nivera happy to come through and clean that up again. Lucker very squishy. His Jamppi fell, but did some damage on the way out. The flash should come through here. Scream a little late with the paint shell once again, but so yeah, Musashi nearly getting caught off guard there on sight, but Scream with a backstab will find it regardless.
Yeah, I do want to see how Scream looks on the Raze as well in the buy rounds and going forward.
Did we see some very? This was back in the realm where soulcas was kind of like the go-to Raze for Liquid. Did we ever see Scream flex onto Raze?
I don't know.
And now, I mean, actually, the Phoenix was on Ascent as well. Actually, wasn't it? That was kind of like their pocket pick for Ascent, but I don't think we ever saw him on the Raze.
No, I don't recall, but I could be wrong. So if any Scream fans out there who have kept note of every single agent select he's ever had, can let us know. Always appreciated. And for now, Jamppi at least having a little bit of impact at the beginning. But the rifle's reigning supreme here for Big. And once again, rinse and repeat, they've found success towards the safe side, at least in the form of getting the spike down. Now, the retakes have come through quite handedly for Liquid here, so see how this bodes. Gosh, and then you throw in the conversation that came around, back to maybe there was going to be roster changes leading in towards Ice, and there were so many issues with this Liquid roster that terrifies me, and that boombot just Tokyo drifting in. Scream quickly going to build off the back of it as well. Obnoks punished. And that's a rifle upgraded.
Out on an island there, to be honest with you. Wall coming through again. They're going to try and stick this. Link actually covered by the Viper wall. He's going to be able to stick this through. He actually goes for the headshot. Nivera finds two. Again, Liquid find it with this wall, the Viper's wall. I'm kind of having a Sage, which Big don't have, to be able to get that deeper plant.
No charges.
A little geeky. But it has allowed Lucker to slip. Does he get noted?
Yeah.
Well, Jamppi's going for a knife, isn't he?
Right.
Right.
Right then. Absolutely no need for that, by the way. Just... Sliggy's gone, it's all to part the disciplines out the window, Laura.
they've let Jamppi out of the cage. He's been putting the hours into Counter-Strike. He's having a lovely time of it all. Just straight up freedom. But I will say something, right? As much as there are two players remaining, they've had 0 shines this round. The spikes left on the site. They could do some damage, sure. But again, I do want to talk bigger picture about this, because there is something to be said about Liquid being potentially micromanaged and it not allowing them to play out the kind of quote-unquote fundamentals, right? Like, there is something to be said about it. So I am curious if this does allow a bit more freedom under a different rule set as to how they want to approach a game, different look towards it. And Musashi dealt with, 5 alive, easy work for Liquid. So there is the kind of like...
It's such a roundtable discussion, right? There's almost... Where Liquid have looked the worst, it's felt like everybody's doing something themselves, right? And
sure.
I think that's a byproduct of having maybe a lack of structure, but without having that one voice, right? And we even talked about this when Jamppi came into this roster. It was like, oh, wow, this is going to be a huge buff in terms of the structure for this team. And then he just started doing Jamppi things.
Yeah, there are really two sides to Jamppi, it does feel like sometimes, right? It's like, which Jamppi are you getting? They're both quite diligent.
Oh, yeah.
They're
both terrifying.
There's greatness to both.
For sure.
Now, this time around, though, Big actually have a real shot at this round, so I do want to pay note to this. Now, they've once again achieved that spike plant that they've done several times at this point. However, they've managed it with 5 alive. They do have the rifles now to back up, and the Viper's Pit. So this is a huge problem presented, and my feed is frozen.
Absolutely, so is mine. And catch it here on the in-game, but Showstopper coming through from Scream, not going to find anything just yet, but actually a 2-for-2 trade comes back. Scream will give them the advantage, but AslaN brings it to a 2v2. Jamppi to shut that one down.
But
Twisten just left now.
Oh, but he's been spotted. Nivera's seen him. He's just trying to deny the defuse.
He got it! He got the kill onto Jamppi.
Unreal. That was a second away from him being treat as a caster. But Big converted, but that was a lot invested into that round, right? You look at knives coming out for Twisten, you had the Viper's Pit for AslaN to kind of facilitate that post plant, and it was still down to essentially a 1v1, right? That was still extremely close. So we have to see if they can do it now, just coming in without those sort of, benefits to them. And it looks like a similar scene. This A piece is what they're depending on here.
A bit of a bait smoke this time around. Actually, Twisten a little later to the party, arrives inside it, but Liquid happy to give this up once again. Will concede the plant, but they've looked pretty good for the retake so far, and Jamppi finding a freebie. The wall bang onto Obnoks will give Liquid the man advantage here.
Once again, we're presented this conundrum. One less player to worry about and a couple less ults. And Scream now gets closed in on. Nice work from AslaN there to take the initiative and try and play towards Scream. Finds the timing just right. Link punished from the push-up. But Jamppi still to find Lucker, though. For a 3v3 now. The time. You can hear the clock ticking, and AslaN still standing, still finding frags. And Nivera, he's out of time and he's out of options. He might want to try and at least get another punish, which he does. But what? Ooh, can he get out of here in time? No, he gets caught. Not even close. Fortitude.
I mean, even with the lack of damage, it's pressure with that utility being invested. Tour de Force popped here by Obnoks. We'll start a Liquid. You got a Raze, Viper's Pit, Jamppi's TP to work with here. soulcas one off the ultimate as well. Actually, we'll... Yeah, see at least one ping there. I'm not sure if the second was caught. I think Scream almost anticipating an opportunity to wallbang Obnoks up on top belt here, but who's that close? Unnoted is Twisten.
Yeah, the barrel definitely showed for Scream, and he almost got caught off the back of it. Has to fall away, has to respect this now. They've halted this A take, at least to this extent. Maybe going to force Big to explore elsewhere. I mean, explore elsewhere, but it's not like Liquid are over-rotating just off the back of Twisten's presence. You can still see this play in middle is great for Link. That could have been 2. It wasn't. Good trade for Lucker, but you can see the damage taken on the way. soulcas attention now turns TP in towards the site, sent away. And Jamppi once again on this flank. How does he get here? Jamppi just going to be a problem in the back lines. Scream holding down the site as well, and Twisten now surrounded. It's all comfort. He'll try and find some by taking down Nivera and open up a chance. Huge shot from Twisten. The time, he's got 13 seconds. He knows that Jamppi was on the flank at 1
seconds left.
Oh, no, the fact that he's strafing. Now. Yeah, the fact that he was strafing just misses it by a second. Who gets the kill for it, but don't expect Jamppi to be Okay.
You've learned a lot, right? You learn a lot of the protocols that he brings in. He's very much a thinking man when it comes to it. So hopefully those reside, and you can then implement it for as long as you can with the firepower you now have.
That's the hopium. The concern is the big need to demonstrate a real, I guess, capability to replicate that structure, right? Because what you lose from God B is, you know, ultimately that experience, that mid-round calling, the comfort under pressure. So really, we're back to basics with big, right? It's the fundamentals. It's the structure that we've really got our eyes drawn towards here, and the coordination, right? Although synergy, but now with a new roster, or at least a roster change, I should say. Sorry, those little things are almost reset. It's like I said, back to basics.
I seem all too aware of this piece coming through as well. Jamppi, no flank this time, doesn't need it. Oh, the adjustment from Link, from low to high. Gets two, and poor old luckeRRR. Well, gonna take Scream with him. But a quick trade out. Link's still there. 3 for him this round. And it'll be a long-term fix. I'm very interested in the kind of Liquid fan thought process in this as well. So not just us two. This rule.
Getting inside the mind of a Liquid fan.
It's just
what a terrifying prospect.
Truly.
Let's get Jonas on for the post-map.
Oh, we should. I think he's playing that vampire game, though. Probably can't pull him away from it. Twisten, gonna find Scream. And that's, well, a bit of an ult removed. And they all went towards B, and look at them, just instantly hitting the switch here for big.
Yeah, Viper Spit seems to be the deterrent, but Spike never committed. This was almost big, trying to pull a rotation here. Smoke will come across. Link does have the res if he's gonna find that ahead of this plant coming down and ultimately make use of retake capability. Actually, with Nivera coming through here, all 3 of these guys could flank.
And there's the res, so... Oh, gosh.
Look how early Nivera is here.
It's ridiculous. And even with
all
the timing, almost got punished by Musashi, but is still alive. He's fine. And the site just feels tiny. It feels so uncomfortable now for big.
The soulcas,
readjustment.
soulcas does have the ult for the retake here. That could be pivotal.
Could be. Whenever he decides to invest it, there it is. And now big lose all of those senses that they once had. Jamppi gonna make the most of it, gonna punish one, and you can see the follow-up. It's instantaneous. The dominoes fall, and Liquid comfy on the retake. That little bit of a dagger in the back coming out early on as well makes them hyper uncomfortable. The ult invested, so well played. And again, this map, I kind of, as much as the composition was a little bit fruity, I wasn't particularly worried for Liquid on this map. I'm curious how they look going, deeper in the series. But for now, big really not finding what they want. 2 rounds only posted thus far. Twisten catching a glimpse of Lincoln towards middle. A bit of a 2-1-2. Testing both sides of the map.
Yeah, but we've got to see something from Big shortly, because this is a 5-round deficit. Looking to get a lot worse with this purchase coming in as well. luckeRRR will find the upgrade there, retrieving the hero rifle of Obnoks. Jamppi rewarded on the other side of things, though. Paranoid sent out one side and still aware, sharp to it. Musashi will fall. soulcas finds one. Twisted a constellation, but a 1v4 presented now. Spike all the way back in spawn, so he's almost got to find another here. Nobody on Liquid going to give him one, but 30 seconds left. He's got a lot left to do in this round, Lauren.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good, but...
Twisten's great. I think, like, everyone individually knows how good some of these big players are, but it's not a question of individual capability. If you're playing that game, you'd still look at Liquid and be like, well, they've got Nivera, Scream, Jamppi, like they've got this like mad firepower too. So you don't win out in just a firepower battle. You need the whole deal. Oh, it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Liquid looking.
And Musashi having a very slow start here, down on 1 and 10 apiece.
Nowhere to run.
There's very few positives to take out of it so far, Lauren. That's, I guess, the safest way to put it, right?
Yeah, and look, we don't need to sugarcoat things. I think sometimes you're gonna have games like this, and it's more just kind of, well, we get to see how does Scream look on Raze, what's the soulcas looking like on Fade, and And for Big, it's just kind of question marks for now, and it's welcome to the big leagues for one. It's not easy.
Spike down.
And Jamppi's just, he looks kind of very free in the way he's approaching the game so far. Nice shots from Obnoks. Lovely shots from Obnoks. Up more of those. You got yourself a 2v2.
Nivera down to barely anything here.
Spike planted.
Twisten will be revealed and marked as well, actually, so they're going to know
that's
exactly where he's
so
retreated
good.
to. But difficult to close this kill out now.
And look at that late
No
work
way,
coming around from
soulcas.
Obnoks.
He's going on top.
There's no way you consider this, though. There's no shot you consider Obnoks
Oh,
here,
now they do. Nivera's
right?
looking this way.
They 100% do. But Obnoks still gonna find it, but the heartbreak. soulcas still denies him. And the round will be Liquid's. The reveal, the close-in soulcas. Looking nice on Fade right now.
Thing after that kill of the Twisten, you're absolutely right. That's the moment that the penny drops.
It was quickly adjusted. Big still finding no comfort here. No tenderness in this half at all. Liquid nasty with it so far, and Scream looking like he wants to make it hurt. Posted up, happy to take a fight. Makes himself old Tommy the Turret at this point. Where did Big go? Looks like maybe a consideration towards a B site.
Deploying drone.
It's only Nivera really here to take, I mean, very deep early contact here. Got the one way to work with the poison orb as well. So, yeah, again, can play a dirty angle on the back of it. This will really slow Big down. Jamppi should be able to send another smoke on the back of this as well. You can see he's posted up deep on tube, so maybe...
Toxins going up.
Actually, as it depletes it, yeah, there's no follow-up here for the smoke, so Nivera has to give this space up.
Mm-hmm. So again...
it's awkward.
Uh,
He still wins that? What?
Oh, Twisten. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It was traded. It's totally fine. It's not fine. soulcas, let's do that utility work again. Once again, highlighting that positioning just under the site itself. They need the star of this, and they found it. Musashi's gone down. That's going to be a link to begin.
Another roll.
There's the ult. And it's going to do well to at least catch two here. So this should be the springboard. Obnoks, where have you just found that from? 2 big kills. Bring this to a 2v2, but they still need to hold on to this. Time's starting to tick. And I don't think they've got time on this anymore. Liquid's just going to try and go for the kills, it looks like.
Enemy remaining.
Or stick it. What? No way he's got that, right?
No.
Oh. He's only half a second off it.
He ain't far from that. And it's quite nice to see soulcas looking comfortable.
Yeah, it's the elephant in the room, right? It's always a discussion we come back to. I mean, really, he has made waves on kind of agent switches before, right? You think about the amount of impact he had previously on Sky. Yeah.
Yep. Loved him on that. And it's I think that when you see
when that initial KO pick came out for him, it looked really, really comfortable for him. So again, repeating that, it's the consistency. It's the longevity that's always lacked in that regard.
Yeah, he's looking quite nice on this. Oof. luckeRRR has some very tasty aim. It's not really equated to much grand scheme, but it looks pretty. But it is quite... If Fade's going to be a common thing for soulcas, it'd be nice to see it look like kind of the Sky Redemption arc, you know, one of those, if it really suits him. So that'd be quite fun. For now, though, Twisten still looking for that opportunity to present, and he had a couple of shots there. Didn't quite get what he wanted, and far from smooth on the site take. Big of 3 players still to clear if Liquid want to make this count. And Link gonna have to post that wall. Oh wait, Nivera, hold on, no, this is not how it falls apart, Big. You hold on to these are your rounds to hold. Link has nothing left, and Obnoks with a shot.
Thank God for that.
Okay. Yeah, it got dicey. I can't make notes on this. I'm just gonna sit here sweating in this evening heat, desperate to not say the word big. Ah, dearie me. All right, Twisten, let's do it. Nice. Fine Scream. Gets to fall away. And you can see Liquid just trying to probe, see if they can catch anyone out, but For now, no big intent shown, really. Spike left out on the entrance towards A.
No, Link will find a... Ooh, would have heard that, but Twisten actually repositioning to top of screens here. Whether or not he will be noted, he absolutely is. Link found a wallbang headshot onto top screens.
Seems good.
I'd
Very
be
reasonable.
Curious to see what that angle was, whether or not he just saw the sheriff poking out or what, but yeah, okay, sure. Doesn't take away a weapon though from Big. That's the thing. Twisten just bringing the sheriff into this. AslaN on the ghost as well. So I mean, if luckeRRR or Musashi fall,
Where are you?
it could get interesting here because Liquid almost have equal purchase here. Musashi will punish Nivera drifting through on the rope.
Should be fine.
Good for the second. Now it feels a little more comfortable for them.
Last player standing.
Nice. And it's what the doctor ordered for Big, right? Like, they had as much as the curse, spam, it was a pretty rough half. So this is good. This is a way to kind of leverage. Do they look competitive the entire way? We do see the rifles now out for Liquid, though, so a little bit of a different round, a little bit of a different puzzle to come through. Twisten does have that operator, though, so eyes towards it.
AslaN again, happy to probe outside A's site here. Liquid holding pretty deep. It's Jamppi really that just about misses catching that information, but it may be a sound cue given away. With Link drifting further through spawn hit. Wait, what does that trap actually spot? Well, Twisten gonna spot ahead of Jamppi. Does that trap spot the jump up? It does.
That's...
I mean, Obnoks punished on the back of it. Nivera just with not a care in the world at all.
Straight up Ferrari peeking everyone. Okay. But Twisten's on the way. Operator's coming through. AslaN's not far. Big is still in a relatively decent position for this. Kind of banks on what they can achieve now. Spike obviously yet to go down.
30 seconds left.
All goes up. Need to make sure this stays safe. Twisten looking to try and catch one. Scream not noted. Spots
Spike
Nivera.
planted.
Spots out another. Now Scream noted, but while all this happened, Scream did find Musashi, so that's lovely from Twisten.
Yeah.
Gonna catch Scream through the wall.
Anticipates the reposition there. But a 3v2 for Liquid, Lauren. Twisten, again, miles away from actually finding a swap out to a rifle here, so kind of rides on AslaN finding something, and it's not going to be anything.
No. Keep that operator, Twisten. You want to make sure that stays in play, and they will... There was a consideration of a hunt. You can see Nivera getting a little close, but decides against it, so keeps those rifles in check. So the first real buy round going to go the way of Liquid for now, but a relatively close round. Again, it's just... This is all just a temperature check. If you're just tuning in and maybe you haven't watched that much of, Valorant so far, maybe a little new to it at this sort of level now.
Cover going out.
Liquid almost feeling as if there's going to be a pace change come now. AslaN brings a frenzy into this. They've scraped together rifles elsewhere, but you look at
I have the spike.
Obnoks, no shield. luckeRRR with a light shield. It's yeah, not great. Especially if they lose this one. Liquid will be on 11. There's nothing left in the bank for Big. So you almost feel like this is the map point. On the brink here for Liquid. And his ult cycle not comfortable either.
No, and Obnoks is going to be fully aware of what's coming his way. Does he dare go for a swing on this? They're already closing the gap. Scream right next to him now. There it is. There's the first fight. And actually, Obnoks does really well. Finds Scream, but you can see the trade out. luckeRRR's gone down in the meantime. Jamppi hitting a bit of a flank here. Nivera is sharp today, though. Finds Obnoks and was actually caught in a bad position here. That could be a problem, but no. Wins out the fight. Jamppi's lurking. Nivera's position is a problem, leaving Twisten all alone. And again, it may be close, but this is still looking like 11's beckoning. And Twisten just about managing to evade the first player. Does he get a chance at any of these?
Yeah, don't expect Jamppi to re-clear this. I think he did actually just take a little peek there. But Twisten
Jamppi things.
Yeah, catches favorable timing to slip back out undetected. Does he check tube? Oh, Jamppi now will move further forwards, probably looking for an upgrade off that Guardian. We'll find it as well. Twisten, again, will hold on to this. No way.
Okay.
Okay.
Because let's see if they do have any. I feel like it's not going to be much in this round. It's going to be difficult to try and come up with a plan in this. First fight, one Scream punishing Obnoks for the push-up, AslaN unable to trade on it, and Twisten, well, went for a play. Yeah, just swatted out of the air. That's you kind of lost two of the tips of the spear that could have really maybe had some impact on this, and you've now got AslaN, luckeRRR, and Musashi to try and make something out of it. And bear in mind, Nivera is second spawn to catch the flank. AslaN, good shot towards soulcas, and that's going to make you very unhappy if you're luckeRRR. You've died to someone literally in spawn. Still making a go of things, and it's like they keep getting close, but it's like, okay, well, now find the 1v3 Musashi, prove me wrong, show me what you can do.
Maybe
it's
later.
Glimpses and moments, right? It's glimpses.
The seed of them being the ones to embrace a pace change and get a little bit more aggressive. The Viper Spit will garner them some control towards A. Do we see them now pivot towards B, potentially mid, to build off of this control? It's got to be the next step for me.
Let's see it. Like a lot of pressure on him if they do start filtering through this way.
Shadows traveling.
Jamppi already can find Obnoks. That's mid now. Sliced through. TP for Jamppi.
This is just...
Oh, he's reading this like an absolute book. Look at the state of this. Jamppi is just playing out of his mind. Scream overwhelms luckeRRR. And yeah, Musashi still finds a little bit of impact, but it's a 4v2. The site is fully under liquid control.
Hunter's Fury going to come through. We'll find the first tag, but the second evades him. And there's the last one right down the middle. Should be able to get this plant now. AslaN.
Spike planted.
They'll still have the wall. Yeah, I was wondering there whether or not that was a... Going to be invested here. Showstopper popped. Scream going to force Big a little deeper here, and that's the soulcas the one to find things. Musashi the last one to find. And he's not long for this world, Lauren. Scream will close things out.